Hello, today I would like to talk about typing speed as a programmer. I think something that is often told is that it doesn't matter how fast you can type on your keyboard, but I think it's maybe the opposite, that I think you as a programmer, something you should practice is to type faster. And the reason I think for that is that the faster you are and the less mental effort you put into typing, the more you can put into the actual thinking to how to develop your solution. And I think me being I'm quite fast at typing, I would say. And when I'm working with or like have pair programmed in the past with people who are slower, like I know exactly like what motions or so I would want to do, like how to restructure the code, but waiting for the other person to like finish the actual typing so we can move on to the next step, then it becomes very obvious like it's a bottleneck with the typing speed, that if you were faster at manipulating your code to make it look like how you wanted it to be for your solution, and like then you can move on faster. And also like I know how to type with the Vim key bindings, so I use Vim and also Vim plugins to other editors, and I can very quickly manipulate the code, and it's just muscle memory how to move around. So I don't spend any time at all thinking like what keys to do, or like everything goes automatically. So then I spend very little effort on how to effectively change the text to look like I want. And then my second point why I think it's important to type fast as a programmer, and maybe it's a weird point or so, but I think like the stereotype of a programmer is somebody who is like fast at typing. Like if you imagine a fitness coach, and you imagine somebody with a lot of muscles who is fit, and likewise with a programmer, then you would envision somebody who is fast at typing. So if you come as a programmer like to a new project or a new workplace, and you are fast at typing, I think it gives a better impression, and people will maybe like estimate that you're better than maybe it might be true that you are good, but like you give a much better impression, I think, if you are fast. Like when I've worked with junior developers, and I see that they don't even know how to touch type, and they're typing with just like the index fingers, and it goes slowly. Like maybe they are great, I don't know, but it gives quite a bad impression, I would say. One example, I once met one developer who had a split mechanical keyboard, and he was using Sublime text, and was using like regex expressions to change in the code, and he was just using his keyboard to jump around and change the text, and everything went so fast, and he had this advanced setup, and that made me impressed, and I immediately felt like, wow, this is a great developer, just from seeing him doing his work. And being good at typing on your keyboard, I think it's similar to knowing a language well. I remember one friend, he was from Lebanon, and he was learning both English and Swedish, but he was quite medium or low level on both. I was helping him make his resume and a personal letter, and he had a great amount of experience doing accounting for a lot of companies in Lebanon, but when speaking with him, like in Swedish or English, it was quite difficult, and like I knew he was a smart person. He had a great working history, but like it's difficult to not think that a person who is not so good at expressing himself, that you think less of him, like it's a stupid person because he cannot express himself and doesn't speak well. So, and that's what I think, like your subconscious thinks, even though you know it's not true, that like this is a great person, just under the right conditions. And knowing a language, I think it's similar to knowing how to type fast. That when you see somebody who is fast typing, you immediately thinks that this is a professional person who knows his craft well, and I think that gives more confidence and a better impression if you are fast at typing. To become better at typing, I think the first thing all programmers should learn is touch typing. So typing with all 10 fingers at your keyboard without having to look at the keyboards ever. So you have to not to look at keys. For instance, I'm using a different layout, Colemak. It's called, so it's an alternative to QWERTY. Like it's an alternative like Dvorak, but I think Colemak was a bit easier to learn than Dvorak, at least what I read about it. That's why I picked it. But I'm typing that on a regular QWERTY keyboard, so the keys say completely different things than what I'm actually typing. So for me it doesn't matter at all what it says on the keys. I know that some programmers think it's cool to have blank keys without any letters at all on them. But I think if you can reach that level where you don't have to look at the keys, I think that's a great benchmark. And then me, for being Swedish, we use Swedish layout on our keyboards here. But it's less optimal, I would say, for coding, since special characters like curly braces, square brackets, and some other keys that you very often use in programming are a bit difficult to type on a Swedish keyboard. So if you are using a layout that isn't that optimal for coding, I would recommend just the American QWERTY for coding. I think that gives like a great return on investment learning that. It's almost the same to like Swedish layout or whatever you are using. So it's very little to learn. It's just like some special keys that are placed a bit differently. I know Colemak, as I said, and that's a much bigger investment to do to learn that. And I think it's fun now to maintain it now when I know the skill to continue with Colemak, but I think maybe the return on investment on that is not that great, I would say. I don't know if I'm even faster than QWERTY. Maybe it's supposed to be more ergonomical, so that's one reason why I continue with it. But I wouldn't recommend anybody else to learn Colemak if I think that needs to be like your own hobby, or you have some more desire on your own. But the American QWERTY, that I would really recommend. On the other hand, I think that's a great investment. And like in the same vein, I also know how to code with Vim key bindings, and so maybe in the end it's not about typing speed, but how to manipulate your code to look like what you envision in your head faster. And if you can use tools or learn your programming environment better to be faster, I think that's also a great way to be a faster coder. And I would recommend learning Vim and its key bindings. Even if you don't use Vim in the end, its key bindings are implemented in all major programming environments, so like Visual Studio, Xcode, Visual Studio Code, all of them have plugins or so for Vim key bindings. So if you have learned it once, then you can implement and use the same key bindings in all editors you will ever use. So that also makes it easy to move between different platforms, and you will feel fast in all of them. Learning to touch type and typing fast, that will help you in all types of applications that you use. Like if you're writing a text or an email, or writing in Jira or in Azure DevOps, or like in all sorts of text fields, like just being able to type fast will help you to more quickly get your thought written down and then be able to move on. But then as a next step, like learning your programming environment will also help you with actual coding, which you probably spend the majority of your time with. So I think both things are important, and then like what environment you use, I don't think it matters that much. Like just find something that works well for you, if it's Emacs or Vim or Visual Studio Code or whatever like you prefer. But just learning it well and being fast with the tools you have, I think that will greatly help you as a programmer.